right, here we are at the Magic Online Championship in Seattle. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe. I'm in the booth with Kenji Egashira, and we're going to watch some draft. This is all Kenji and I want to do anyway.
All day, every day.
All day, every day. Maybe draft ourselves, but I actually like watching people draft. It's close. I really
gives you
enjoy
new
it.
Insights, different strategies than what you would take.
For sure. And so we're going to be watching Jasper de Jong on the left, and here's his opening pack. He's got Shore Crasher, Elemental highlighted here, Kenji. This pack looks decent. All right, I think we should just keep it sorted by rarity here, though. Yeah, well, we'll ask our spotter to have them keep it sorted by rarity. It's how people look at these packs. There's a Pacifism and a Flatten I saw in the pack that he's passing, but pretty clear pick here, right? Because you can just play that thing face down. You don't need triple blue anyway.
And it's a single blue to flip it up in addition to 4 colorless. So
right. All right, so what are you seeing out of this pack, Kenji? I see a Misthoof Kirin kind of stands out to me as one of the better cards. There's a Vulturous
Haven highlighted here.
Yeah, I like Vulturous Haven here myself.
I do too, and I don't think taking any of the blue cards just to follow up your Shore Crasher is going to be worth it. I mean, Anticipate and Scorn can be okay, but I think Haven just rates a lot better than those. I'd definitely rather be blue-black in this form than blue-white, so I think taking the Haven here is a nice pickup.
Yeah, I agree with that. So Vulturous Haven it is. Blue-black, one of the premier 2-color combos in the format. This gets kind of interesting here, though. I see a Pacifism.
And that's the second one we've seen now.
Yeah, a third pick Pacifism is, you know, it's getting signally here, right? This is definitely, you're like, well, a person on my right is certainly not in white at this point, you would assume.
Epic Confrontation also in the pack, a decent green color.
Yeah, that's the second one of those we've seen. The first one came in his first pack. Otherwise, there's a Palace Familiar or a Beltoll Dragon. 2 not super exciting options here for Jasper. So he's going to go for the Pacifism, keep his options open early.
He can always splash if necessary.
Yeah, he can also splash for the Shore Crasher Elemental, right?
Sure, yeah.
Never thought I'd say you could splash for a triple blue card, but here we are.
I like splashing for Death Mist Raptor in your, green deck, because any other morph will just turn it online once it gets in the graveyard.
Can't wait to block with it.
Exactly. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Looks like he's Sight Beyond Sight here. I actually like that card quite a bit.
I do too.
Yeah, it's like a slow bit of revelation.
Yeah, that's how I view it too. Basically, with the card draw spells of this type, they're the card you play late in the game after you've deployed most of your other cards. And you know, Sight Beyond Sight usually says draw 2 spells.
Exactly.
And drawing 2 spells is really good. It's quite powerful in the late game.
On the rebound, you have all of your mana untapped afterwards, plus you're going to get to draw that extra card.
That's right. All right, so
pretty mediocre pack. You got Lightwalker and like a Sidisi's Faithful if he wants to keep going blue. Looks like he has highlighted the Faithful here.
I actually like that pick, but this is... Ugh.
I mean, the Dutiful Attendant's also fine,
I think they're both in the same ilk here, but I guess he is incentivized to be a little bit more blue, though. I have to say, blue looks to be drying up quite quickly here. Just a glint in this pack, a barely playable card. And in fact, this pack's just kind of bad. Lightwalker's... a Tarka Freed.
Tarka Freed's good. I like that as one of the best red commons. What do you think about Deadly Wanderings?
I'm out on Deadly Wanderings.
No?
Yeah, I mean, look, I consider it like if I'm in this position, I'm at the Magic Online Championship. I'm not fussing around with.
Well, he's opted to take the Seismic Rupture.
Oh wow!
Well, look at this. Look at the green in this pack. So we've passed a few epic confrontations, and now we see one of the best green commons, Stampeding Elkerd.
Yes.
In addition to the Scale Guards over there.
Yeah, Scale Guard Sentinels also. So both quite strong here. It looks like he's going to opt for the Student of Ojutai, a card I'm quite fond of as well. The Pacifism probably
puts it
prompting
over the edge.
him to put it there. Yeah.
The Student does a ton of work, and with Rebound as well. You can gain up to 4 life off of 1 spell.
All right, here's another Sidisi's Faithful. If that's what he wants, there's a Reduce in Stature, which is good against some decks, but a lot of decks it's really not.
I definitely think Reduce is on the poorer end of
I agree.
quote-unquote removal spells.
I thought it was better when I first saw it, and then after playing it in practice, it sort of crept down. I still do play it sometimes. I don't think it's unplayable, but yeah, it's not very good.
I think green is just super open. We see Assault Root Ambushers here.
He's going to take an Aven Tactician. So this is really interesting. There is a point where you don't want to move into green because green in the 3rd pack in Fate Reforged tends to not be that strong.
Correct, yeah.
But, I think that Jasper did have an opportunity to move into green when it was still reasonable, but he has decided not to. It is considered the worst individual color in the block by many players, and Jasper could be one of them.
Well, he got really lucky here, I think, to wheel the Ojutai Monument.
Not bad.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like he's more blue-white than anything, like a sideboard Radiant Purge here, I suppose.
Yeah, that seems to be the card.
When the set first came out, I was like, oh man, this card's really nice, right? It's going to kill all my opponent's bombs and whatnot.
Yeah, all their morphs. You know, when they flip them up, and then you realize, wait, no.
It doesn't do.
Would have been very good last set.
Exactly.
Yeah, it felt a little out of place.
Down to the dregs of the pack here, just random sideboard cards. Nothing you want to start main. Lightning Berserker.
Yeah, that's a real card. All right, why don't we jump over very quickly and take a look at what Alexa's up to? I don't want to.
We just want to see what he's doing here at the end.
He's got command. Oh, he's blue-white also.
It looks like he's got a Silumgar's command. I think that's the best command in Limited.
I think so, too. There's also a Silumgar Sorcerer. I will jump back over to Jasper. I want to see what he's opened up in his next pack.
Speaking of command... Oh, wait, no, that's
There's a Youthful
Boltwing.
Scholar. There's also Ojutai Summons and a Boltwing Marauder. Yeah, that does look a lot like Hologon's command. But it's not on the table here for Jasper. He's going to go for the Youthful Scholar. There's another copy of Volturus, even though we note that he hasn't moved into black after that one pick.
I actually think I like the Summons here more than the Youthful Scholar.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, especially if he's not going down the exploit route. I mean, I guess he has the Double Faithful already, but I don't know. Summons is such value. Yeah,
Summons does a really nice job of putting up threats in the air so that you can kind of hold down the ground with your Student of Ojutai, maybe bouncing something with Sidisi's Faithful and can get a real clock going. But
Scholar's just more value.
How do you turn down value like that, right? I mean, no human could be expected to do that.
Ugh, we see a Cobra here, one of the best uncommons in the set.
Yeah, Coot Cobra, and unfortunately...
This pack is just pretty blank for him, I think.
Yeah, I mean... Can he just take it and move in on black?
I think you have to. Well, he only has 3 white cards right now.
Yeah,
right?
but he's like that. He's still got that red card down in his pile. Like he's only got 5 blue cards. So
I think Cobra's the correct pick there.
I do too.
If anything else, he can just splash the pacifism. Looks like he's taking out the Rupture. I mean, Tactician is not necessarily the best of cards.
All right, so he's got a Dragon Hunter and Echoes of the Kin Tree and a Dromica Warrior in white. His blue options are What's Up Draft Elemental, Void Squall, and Mystic Meditation. Terrible, and there's literal no black cards in this pack. This is not going well for Jasper here.
Dragon Hunter and Dromoka Warrior? I think he takes one of those.
Yeah?
Looks like he's taking the Hunter. The old Dragon Hunter Double Faithful deck. You don't see that too often.
No, that is not the combo we were looking for. And it's not really getting better. Oh, I spoke too soon. Ojutai Interceptor there for Jasper. A nice pickup.
Definitely one of the best blue commons.
Yeah.
If not the best blue common.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Interceptor. It does a lot of work. I actually was higher on it early. I came down a little. I do find that it is quite fragile with the 2 toughness, but still, it's definitely high on the list.
Well, when they sent out the Magic Online newsletter maybe a month or 2 ago, they said the Interceptor was the #1 blue common for winning.
Oh, for winning an 8-4? Yeah. Oh, interesting. All right, what has he got here? A Dirger Nemesis?
He might just take the Vial of Dragonfire. When you're blue-white, you don't have too much removal, and even though Vial is quite poor, it does deal with morphs.
Yeah, that's true. It deals with morphs, and it deals with small flyers like the ones that he has.
Yeah, so it looks like what he's taking here.
Yeah. Also, he's a little top-heavy here.
Blue-white, you're going to have a lot of 5s. Maybe that's why he took the
yeah, I mean, he only has 1 5 right now, but his 4s are stacked up, and that was only his second 2-drop. And, calling Vial of Dragonfire a 2-drop isn't really honest work either, is it?
Enduring Victory. There you go. That's a decent pickup.
That's a nice pickup.
Now, he is passing an Ambuscade Shaman, but...
yeah, who cares?
That card is really spicy.
I'm not that big on Ambuscade Shaman.
Oh, man, if you've ever dashed in after, like, a Warbringer.
Okay, if I have... I am big on it if I've got Warbringer and Ambuscade Shaman in my hand or on the battlefield. You have convinced me there. And it looks like he's going to be stuck with a Contradict or another 4-drop.
I think he takes the Champion.
With the Champion.
Oh, I don't know if I like the Contradict pick.
No, he snapped it right up.
Wow. The 3/2 is very fragile, but with any, I guess he doesn't have any of the tricks, Center Soul or Maneuver or otherwise. So
yeah, that is true.
He's really hoping for pack 3 to bank him out of this. He got a Charger here.
Here. That's a nice pickup. I think that early in the set I would have taken the Strong Arm Monk because when I read it, I thought, well, this card's great. It hasn't really played out to be so.
5 mana 3/3. Not necessarily the thing you want. Wow, I'm surprised.
Oh, he's going to take it. Wow.
Definitely would have went with a Charger, but...
oh, I'm surprised too.
Yikes.
We both just assumed he was going to take the Charger.
I
Jasper's
mean,
throwing us some curveballs. I kind of like this.
Right, Dunecaster, right? Maybe reduce. I've seen the Dragon Eye Sentry come in from the sideboard against like the red-black aggressive deck.
Yeah, that does occasionally happen. It was reduced that he ended up taking. And he's got the, he wheeled Echoes of the Kin Tree.
I'm also surprised at that pick.
Yes.
I even think Guardians.
All right, let's take a look over at what Telerov's up to.
Remember, he was blue-white initially.
He was, and
opened a pristine
Skywise in his blue-white deck.
Yikes.
All right, his deck looks to be coming together pretty decently here. He still has the Slumgar's command that he first picked, but we'll jump back over to Jasper to make sure we keep an eye on that. I just want to, I like, taking a little sample here to see what else is going on.
Just making sure.
And there's his sideboard.
Would definitely say Alexa's got the better of the blue-white decks.
Not close either. This is a pile right now for Jasper. I mean, he's got a lot of work to do here. No, he opens a Crux of Fate. But it doesn't look like he can cast it. There's no real world where he can move into black that hard here, right?
He has the Cobra and the...
He
has the Cobra and the Aven in his sideboard.
I think he'll probably end up splashing that pacifism that he took out.
I think he has to with the Monument in addition. Oh, gosh.
I mean, there is a Whisk Away in the pack, which is a solidable player.
Right?
Oh, there's a Sandblast as well. Yeah, those are both similar cards.
Maybe he just has to go for the Mize with the Crux.
Well,
he's putting in white cards again.
He's going to take the Sandblast. Okay. Yeah, that's tough beats there for Jasper. He opens up one of the better cards in the set, but cannot take it.
Oh, now we see the best Siege in the format, Marshall? Frontier?
I think that might be the worst Siege in the format.
I'm sorry. I thought playing Flyers was good or something.
Well, Flyers are good, and Sandstep Outcast gives you one of them. So
I'm just teasing you.
Not a bad pickup.
He got a Sandstep Outcast, yeah, absolutely.
Soul Summons, it looks like he's going to line up for his next pick.
Over the Ward Scale Dragon.
Yeah. What do you think about that? Does look like
I would rather have the top end
little
card.
More top end, yeah. Although looking at his bottom end, his cards are not creature, not creature, creature, not creature. So he's got a Territorial Rock and a Dragon Hunter that he can cast in the early stages that really affect the game. So, he could be thinking about that.
He gets another choice or another option at the Dragon here if he wants. It looks like he's just going aggressive.
Yeah, he's going to take the Jeskai Sage this time.
The old 2-mana 1/1 aggressive.
Ish.
Yeah. He still has the Echoes in his main deck, so maybe he's trying to really...
I think he might be playing it.
Yeah, for lack of a better word, exploit that with his faithfuls.
Yeah. I think he's in on the Echoes. I mean, look, if the game goes long, the Echoes does have an impact on it. It's just, Aven Surveyor.
Got to be happy about that one.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy for him.
But now we see the glut of 4 and 5s that we were talking about earlier.
The curve is awful. That Ojutai Monument is almost sure to make the main deck here.
I mean, maybe if he picks up some Dismal Backwaters or some late fixing, he tries to splash for the Cobra or something.
And even the Vulturous Aven is a not unreasonable splash. You can play it later in the game and still have it affect the board. The Cobra is a little less so, but still perhaps worthy.
I don't know. Sometimes Cobra just beats decks. They can't deal with it.
It's true.
Although, if you've ever had your Cobra defeated,
I have. That is a brutal feeling. All right, well, Jasper's got a sweet white rare. Oh, never mind. It's Rally the Ancestors. So it looks like he's got his options are Reality Shift or Abzan Sky Captain here, I think.
Looks like he's just taking the captain.
Another 4-drop is not what he wants, but Reality Shift is so medium.
If you need removal, and in blue-white you definitely do. Oh, he's got a late right into being. That's a nice pickup.
That's nice. Also, I note that Sultai Emissary kind of hanging out there. Those tend to go pretty high in this
one of my favorite black commons from this set.
This card's so good. Especially now. It was good before. Now it's really good.
Value, value, value.
All day. So Riding a Bean, I think, is a great pickup for his deck here, really. Like, it's going to help smooth out his draws, make sure he hits his land drops, and gives him a little bit more early action as well.
All right, here's Backwater versus Monk.
Backwater. Yeah, that's interesting. He's on 14 creatures right now and the Soul Summon, so that puts him up to 15. So he's okay on creatures. Yeah, he doesn't want to get greedy here, it looks like. And I don't blame him. I mean, look, the Vulturous Aven's an okay splash, but it's not a card that you look to splash, right? Like, it's not like, oh, I gotta pick up this fixing, so that isn't a Dragon Lord or something crazy. So I don't blame Jasper for staying the course here.
Yeah, I think if he had a Deathwind, he might.
He got Whisk Away back.
That's good. Yeah, I guess he's banking on that Echoes because I don't know how he's pushing through too much damage.
Whoa, he just cut the Whisk away.
Does he not like that card?
Well, you got to play it over Reduce, right?
Oh, he cut both of them, so. Okay. All right. If he goes, 2-drop into Jeskai Rune Mark.
Yeah, high variance, but it can get the job done.
It's the best feeling when you put it on a Wandering Champion. You have a 5/3 flyer that, loots, attacking turn 3.
It's pretty good.
Ugh.
And he's going to pick up a huge stone retainers here.
More like you stone.
Yeah,
am I right?
Yeah, you are. Great Horn Crew Shock is going to go immediately over to the sideboard. And we get an idea of what Jasper wants to draw. I think I'd love to see that Whisk Away make the main here.
I agree.
Beyond that, he is kind of where he is. I don't think that he can play. The awareness there would be fine. I think he might need that Contradict at this point. Like, this is just one of those decks that kind of has to get there.
Yeah.
And I like playing a card like a high power card like Contradict, where if he can set up a board state to protect, that can really buy him a game. And yeah, it's high variance, but
well, luckily he's 7-0, so even if he squeaks out just one win with this deck, I think he should be looking pretty good.
That's a good point. And I think that might be what he does with this deck too. I mean, look, one thing though is that Jasper, again, he fancies himself more of a limited specialist, and that translates not only from the draft here, but also, of course, into the actual games. And, who knows? We could have some of the players that qualified, via some of the older formats don't draft as often. Why don't we see how Alexa's deck turned out real quickly here?
Now remember, we saw this. He opened Ojutai now.
What? He probably got it passed to him.
That's very true too. Not as good as the one from Dragons, but
look at all the dragons. He got both Ward Scale dragons as well. And the Crucible.
Yep. Wow.
Oh, Alexa's going deep here.
I wonder if he's going to go 18 land versus 17. Okay, looks like he is going to go 18 land. Oh. But look at his curve. It just starts on 3? No, sorry, it starts on 2.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
He's just
great.
He's left a spot for his 1-drops open there.
Wow, actually, I think his deck is great.
Yeah, it's pretty good. He's got a pair of Reduce in Statures and a Reality Shift plus a Void Squall, which, those will interact with the opponent's creatures, but they don't kill them, quite cleanly. So
Void Squall in a deck like this, where you can just potentially curve 2, 3, 4, Void Squall is sometimes just backbreaking enough.
Yeah, especially when you're triggering prowess with it, like on the Lotus Path Gen. I also see that he did pick up the Ojutai summons. If you look at that on the bottom, I usually pull those up into my creature slot because
just like the light form there.
Yeah, like the light form, but he's got those down. So he's actually quite creature heavy when you look at it that way. He's running 18 creatures currently, and his non-creature spells are just Enhanced Awareness, Void Squall, a pair of Reduce in Statures, and a Reality Shift. His creature quality looks quite high, though.
It's just the removal.
He's got an Orator of Ojutai. The Orator's going to
do some more. It'll drama its Wall of Omens with flying.
It is. He's got 4 dragons, excuse me.
Oy.
Misthoof Kieran's a nice one there. Sandcrafter Mage. And he's got the Silumgar Sorcerer that we saw when we popped in earlier.
Yep.
I like this deck. I think this looks pretty good.
No, I think this is a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder where they were sitting in comparison to each other. Do you run the Barricade here, maybe?
I'm looking at the Barricade up there. I'm wondering.
Yeah, because he doesn't have anything really much to do with that Lightwalker synergy.
Yeah, he's got one Sandcrafter Mage, but otherwise he's not really making that thing fly. So
I mean, that's the dream, right? Turn 2 Lightwalker, turn 3 Sandcrafter Mage, attack you for 3 flying.
Yeah, that is a dream I have lived, and it feels quite nice. Feels
he's also
equally as bad when your opponent does it, of course.
Center Soul in the sideboard. I like that card quite a bit in this deck as well.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you use it on?
Well, just like your Ojutai Interceptor or anything, if they have a removal spell for it. I mean, that's a 4-power flyer. Although I'm not sure what he would cut. Maybe even a Reduce in Stature. That card makes me...
Yeah, I think it feels like Alexa's probably concerned just about the fact that he just doesn't have any other removal, and if his opponent plays Stampeding Elkhart or something, like he's going to be ran over pretty quickly by that. All right, let's take a look back over at Jasper and see how his deck is shaped up here. Ugh, this isn't quite as good, is it?
Just complete downgrade.
Let's see here. Now, where did the...
There's the whisk away. Where did the what?
I'm looking for the monument. Do you see it? Oh, there it is. It's up in the top on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
I expected him to run it, but maybe he found a build that got that curve down to a more reasonable level. Remember, we had a lot of 4-drops and a lot of 5s. This one does seem to have still quite a few 4s and 5s here. He's pulled the contradict out.
The thing about the monument is that it just doesn't just ramp. It's a 4/4 flyer when you need to.
Mm-hmm.
Provided you have the mana to activate it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm generally not a big fan of the monuments, but I think this deck probably wants one.
I mean, you see cards like Territorial Rock in his deck, and, you know, just makes you kind of cringe.
Right. He's still got the Echoes of the Kin Tree down there, and, you know, I don't really blame him for running it, to be honest.
That might be his sleeper card.
Yeah.
You know, just pushing through.
Yeah, because normally that's a card you'd prefer to just leave in the sideboard. It's so slow.
It is.
But, you know, if he can find himself on even a remotely parodied board, he at least has a place to dump a bunch of mana and try to get an advantage. That thing can grind out a win in a slow matchup.
Oh, Marshall, he's just taking out the student now.
No. He put it in for the monument. I don't like pulling the student here, but I can see what Jesper's trying to do. He's trying to wrestle that curve down to something a little bit more reasonable so that he doesn't just get stuck with a bunch of 4s and 5s in his hand, not be able to cast anything. This is 17 lands as well.
Yep. I guess that means he's not trying to trade blow for blow, but the student still is a, you know, big ground creature. 4 toughness.
Yeah, I think I'd like to play the student. I think maybe I'd cut a Dragon Hunter here. I don't see this deck as one that can just go like 1, 2, 3 and beat down. Like, it doesn't really have that punch.
But that might be the only way that he can, you know, steal some games if he was able to curve out, you know, into the Echoes or whatever.
Like, what does his curve look like? Like, Dragon Hunter, Territorial Rock, Morph? Like, that's just not going to get it done against most decks, right?
Yeah, but if you back it up with a Sandblast or even just a Whisk Away.
I honestly, I still don't know if that's good enough. Like, maybe if we pick like his best possible curve, which would probably be like Dragon Hunter, Soul Summons, Dragon Bell Monk. I mean,
it doesn't seem great, obviously.
Yeah, it's just the thing I see his deck doing much more often is not dying for a while and then beating in the air with flyers or getting, you know, Echoes of the Kin Tree or something going along those lines. Because look at his late game. I mean, he's got Aven Surveyor, he's got Aven Tactician, he's got the Sky Captain, he's got an Ojutai Interceptor, he's got the Monument to fly as well. The Rock we're not really counting as much, but I do feel like his later game is pretty decent at closing out, but he has to kind of be alive. It could be more of a defensive Dragon Hunter as well.
Man, I don't even know about that. His late game is not great game, Marshall. It's all 2 power flyers.
Yeah. You know, it's true. I mean, I'm trying to scrap up
yeah.
You know, I'm trying to
make it look good at least.
Well, just trying to see, okay, well, how does this play out if he is going to win? And I think that the way it plays out is that he doesn't die for a while and then beats down in the air, because I don't think his ground creatures really have what it takes to get it done.
In this format, sometimes you guys can just stall out, you know, playing out your creatures.
Yeah.
And whoever top decks better. The Strong Arm Monk might do some serious work in conjunction with the flyers.
That's true. Yeah, it looks like the student didn't end up making the cut.
I see mountains.
He's going to put these into his list
okay.
just for sideboard purposes.
I was about to say, is he trolling us now? Seismic Rupture in the main.
No, he's not. So the way this is working, of course, is that we're playing these on Magic Online, but when they do the draft, it will just put them into the queue for however it wants. Yeah, but since we're having a much bigger picture tournament than just an 8-person draft, they're actually going to save their decks separately so that they can make sure to play against who they're supposed to be paired against from the tournament. So what they're doing is adding some lands to their sideboard, because that if he wants to sideboard into black or red for any reason, he's going to need to have those lands, since it'll be a freeform deck after he saves it out.
And it looks like that's something he actually just considered, right? At least splashing for black or red from this board.
Yeah, and I mean, why not, right? Like, the chances of that happening are very unlikely, but like, it takes half a second to throw some extra lands in there.
I mean, he does have some decent amount of card draw to find his fixing. Well, not fixing, but other colors, I suppose, if that were going to be the case. Well, Again, I think I'd be happy to scrape out one win with this deck. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I think I would. You know, I'd consider the quality of cards in the draft itself to be average, right?
Possibly.
I didn't feel like most of the packs were really low, but I wasn't like wow, you know, blown away by what was floating around. So, yeah, I think a 1-2. You know, if I'm a real optimist, I would say if I scraped out a 2-1 with this, you know, it would be possible. I mean, you never know, right? I mean, this deck is certainly capable of winning. It's not awful.
No.
It's just it has some low points to it. The curve, I think he did manage to get that to a pretty reasonable state, but he had to give up some power to do it.
You could definitely.
And again, you know, we had to mention before that Jasper, you know, he's a limited player. This is what he does, and you know, he's going to be able to get an advantage probably on some of the players that primarily play a little bit more on the constructed end of things. So you never know. Also, he's just on a sick heater. He's 7-0 in two formats that he barely ever plays, he said. So, you know, let's not. Now he's, you know, kind of back in his home turf here and probably feeling pretty good about that as well. So basically what I'm saying is he's guaranteed to be 10-0 after the round. So that's.
I don't know if I believe that, but let's run with it.
All right. So you take a look at Alexa, and there's